All right, so we're going to talk about another form of a linear equation. This is one we don't use extremely often, but is great for if we're giving a point in the slope. So this is point-slope form. So slope-intercept was great for if we were given our slope and our y-intercept. Okay. Or a table where my y-intercept was listed. Okay, or the graph. Those are things that were great to pick out. But when I had a table that didn't have my y-intercept, that was a little harder to pick out, right? We could do it, but it was a little bit harder to do. Also, if I'm given a slope and a point that's not my y-intercept, slope-intercept isn't the easiest one to use. We also have 2 points that we're going to get into today as well. All right, so point-slope form. We call this because we are given the slope and a point. Okay. Now, key thing to watch here is when I'm plugging my point in, is that I have subtraction signs here. Okay. So when I plug things in, I don't want to drop those subtraction signs if I'm plugging in a positive number. So we'll look at that a little bit more here when we're doing a couple examples. So this one here. So we're just practice writing in point-slope form. Then we'll get into changing it to slope-intercept later on. So all I'm going to do is work with what I got. So this is my x1, y1, and here is my m, right? So all I have to do is plug those into the appropriate spots. So we're going to get y minus, okay, my y1, that's 1, equals, okay, my m, which is 4, times x minus my x1, which is 3. And that's just writing it in slope-intercept form. Now, in the next video, we'll get into switching this to slope-intercept form from here. All right, so let's practice with another one. So I've got my x1, y1, and I have my m, which is my slope. So all I have to do is plug in. So y minus a -6 equals -1/4 x minus 1. Now, remember what happens when I minus a negative. What do I get there? Well, minus a negative is just plus, right? So I can say y plus 6 is equal to a -1/4 times x minus 1. And that's it right there. Both of these are correct. More often you're going to see me write it the second way. All right, but now what if I have 2 points? Okay, neither one of them, so I'm not given my slope. Well, can I find my slope? Yes. Remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2, and all I have to do is plug in that information. So we get -5 minus 5 over -1 minus 4. -5 minus 5 is a -10 over -1 minus 4 is a -5. -10 over -5 gives me +2. So now that I have my slope, I can pick one of the 2 points and plug in. I'm going to show you with both points so that way you can see. Okay. So we're going to get y minus, I'm going to start with my x1, y1, 5 equal to 2 times x minus 4. Okay, I could also use the other point and do y minus a -5, which becomes +5, equal to 2 times x minus a negative 1, which becomes plus 1. So both of those equations are correct. And again, in the next video, we'll talk about both of the and how it doesn't matter which one, it is still going to be the same line. All right, so let's do another one. So first thing I have to do on this is find my slope. So remember the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to give me negative 4 minus a negative 1 over 1 minus 0. Negative 4 plus 1 is a negative 3 over 1, which gives me just a negative 3. I'm going to pick a point. Okay, and I'm just going to typically stick with the first one. So we get y minus a negative 1, which becomes plus 1, equals negative 3 times x minus 0. Okay, also we could do y minus a negative 4, which becomes plus 4, equals a negative 3 times x minus 1.